I watched the SNL 50th celebration this evening, so that way you don't have to. These are my thoughts, these are spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you watch it, come back to it, but if you don't really care, I'm going to give you some of the highs, some of the lows, and my overall thoughts. So I'm 31 going on 32 years old. I've been watching SNL religiously since I was 15 years old. I started with the cast of Andy Samberg, Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig. That was my first cast. And as such, I really hold that cast in high regard. There have been casts since then that have been really good. This current cast is not my favorite, but all that to say, I respect SNL. I've followed for many years, and I definitely know the history of it. SNL 50 was meant for people who know the history and know the lore, that have taken the time to watch multiple seasons, multiple episodes, and know all the famous sketches. If you have any of that knowledge, you're going to have a good time watching this, but overall, I would give the execution of SNL 50 a 7 out of 10. Maybe a 6 out of 10, actually. I think there are a lot of low points, there were a couple of highs, but it was just slow, and it was 3 hours long. The intro was great because Steve Martin is excellent. He did the opening monologue, and he never misses. Martin Short, of course, had to be in there because those two are tied at the hip, but it works because those guys are funny. The best musical number by far was this one. Miley Cyrus and Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, they were unbelievable. This was by far the best musical number of the night. I loved it. I love hearing Miley sing, and the two of their voices together, it was unreal. Of course, they brought back Domingo, but this time they had Sabrina Carpenter singing her own song, so she was a part of the whole Domingo lore. And it was fun. They brought in Pedro Pascal as Domingo's older brother, and they also brought in Bad Bunny as another brother of Domingo. It was a fun sketch. I hope they retire it, though, because now they've done it 3 times in one season. That's way too many times. They brought back the alien invasion scenes. Kate McKinnon absolutely kills at this role, but the surprise here was Meryl Streep portraying Kate McKinnon's mom and having the exact same attitude as her. It was a great time. I also love this bit. I love Black Jeopardy. It's fun. But in this one, they had Eddie Murphy playing Tracy Morgan right next to Tracy Morgan. I'll say this. I feel like SNL 50 was missing a lot of key players. Bill Hader wasn't there. Justin Timberlake didn't make an appearance. I feel like majority of the sketches that we know and love didn't show up. But I also think that's because a lot of them happened in the 40th anniversary. My buddy and I watched the 40th anniversary 10 years ago, and we loved it. It was so funny. It was quick. I felt like all the sketches were of every single era. This 50th anniversary, it felt like it was catering to the original cast, the first couple of seasons, and then the current cast. I feel like we weren't doing a service to every single era along the way of SNL, and I think that you're going to lose a lot of your audience that are tuning into something like this. In my opinion, it definitely felt like a love letter for Lorne, a farewell to Lorne. If you open the show with Paul Simon and you close with Paul McCartney, those are two of his best friends, and you have the monologue written and performed by Steve Martin, who is another one of his best friends, that tells me that Lorne Michaels is on his way out, and this was what he wanted as one of his final shows. And if that's the case, he deserves it. He's been doing this thing for 50 years. But if you're just a casual SNL viewer, you're not going to enjoy this 50th anniversary special. I give it a 6 out of 10, and I'm somebody who's very familiar with SNL and everything that goes with it. Do yourself a favor and check out the documentaries on Peacock. They are 10 times better than the SNL 50th special.